Good afternoon, or whatever time it is that you're watching this. Today I want to talk about security cameras. So the other video I did earlier, one of the first videos that I done with my face on it, we talked about security measures and how the association cannot restrict a homeowner from putting security cameras or surveillance equipment on their home for security purposes. That was section 202.023. But what about if the association wants to put security cameras on common property? So this has come up a lot over the years. Some associations have gated communities. Some have surveillance cameras that they have set up on common property at the beginning of the subdivision. Some of them have them in different areas in the community. What does that mean for the association, and what are the legal implications? So there are a few things in regards to keeping security cameras on common property. There's a couple of code sections that talk about installing security camera systems. Who can actually install security camera and who can monitor those systems. So you have to be licensed to do that, and they don't define some of the terms within the occupational code. So that could be an issue with certain associations if board members are monitoring the security cameras that are installed on common property. Also, there is an exception in the code section, but it's unclear whether that actually applies or not. Cameras are beneficial to associations. They can deter crime, they can deter vandalism, they can deter nuisance or unwanted behavior in common properties. But there have been, I thought there was a case about this, but maybe not, that if an association doesn't have a duty within their declarations, so your duties, and most of the time duties and obligations or responsibilities of the association are listed in dedicatory instruments. If the association doesn't have that duty, it's not listed in your dedicatory instruments that you're supposed to deter crime or deter vandalism, then if the association then adds security cameras, are they then taking on that duty to deter nuisance behavior or unwanted behavior? And that came up in a case, again, I can't remember what the case is and I can't find it, but that may be an issue. Does the association have an additional duty now because they've put cameras up and they've taken that responsibility on themselves to monitor them and or turn them over to police whenever something does happen or report something? Does that then create that extra duty? That creates an issue with the association, because if the association didn't have that duty originally, if the association is installing cameras, does that create now a duty to monitor and report unlawful behavior or deter unlawful behavior? I'm not sure. I mean, there might be cases on this in the future because security cameras are becoming increasingly installed in associations. And this has become an issue not just in Texas, but all over the United States. What some lawyers and management companies and policymakers have discussed is to create a policy. Again, this is not legal advice. This is only talking about security cameras generally, and it's for educational and instructional purposes, and to create a discussion around security cameras and to share information. So if there are specific legal issues, the association should always consult their attorney. So some policymakers, some management companies, some attorneys have discussed this, and they discussed making a policy regarding the type of footage being recorded, how it's recorded, how it's stored, identify who's going to review the footage and when, and that the community should know that someone's not monitoring them 24/7. Also, the associations should consider where cameras are being placed. Are they being placed in areas where people have a right to privacy? A policy should be made on who has the right to that footage. The policy should also discuss how people have access. Is it just the board members? Is it one board member? Is it just the president? What if they are no longer the association president anymore? How is their access cut off? And it gives people, I think, a sense of security so that people just willy-nilly don't have access to footage within the community. In addition, they've also talked about how the association should also have a policy on how long the footage is kept for. I think that would also help the police too. So you can say, well, the association only keeps footage for a week or whatever. It's also been discussed that the association may not be creating a duty on themselves, even if they install security cameras, if they are pushing those obligations and responsibilities off on the police. So there was one article that I thought was really interesting that talked about how board members shouldn't be taking on the responsibility of being the police. You're not, the association board members are not police officers. That responsibility should be left to the authority who are trained. And if you then start taking on those responsibilities or those obligations, then is the association then opening itself to liability by adding an extra duty they already have? So it's been really interesting. So those are the discussions, those are kind of tips that other people, other attorneys, other management companies have discussed. And it's hard because the benefits of having a security camera may outweigh the concerns. And of course, attorneys always look at liability, even though it could be a very good opportunity for the association to protect itself. So I hope that gave you a little bit of education on security cameras and has opened the discussion about cameras on common property. Be sure to like the video, especially if you want to see more videos like this.